Good day, everyone. Today, we will be discussing various import and export forms, specifically focusing on the difference between accountable and non-accountable forms. As a BSA students, understanding this document is a core part of our future professional goals. Let me read the overview of this topic. In the world of international trade, forms are much more than just a paper. They are legal instruments used to declare, control, monitor, and authorize the movements of goods across borders. So understanding whether a form is accountable or non-accountable is essential for customs officers, brokers, and trade professionals because these documents directly impact revenue collection, legal enforcement, and overall trade compliance. Throughout this module, we will explore the nature and purpose of both types to see how they functions in real-world operations. So let's dive into the specifics of these forms and how they shape the landscape of customs administration. By the end of this discussion, we aim to achieve four main goals. First, define what import and export forms are in the context of customs administration. Second, learn how to distinguish between accountable and non-accountable forms. Third, identify common examples of each type. And finally, understand why form control is so vital in our customs operation.
Import and export forms are official documents required by customs authorities to declare goods entering or leaving country, determine custom duties and taxes, enforce trade laws and regulations, maintain accurate trade statistics. And these forms may be used by importers and exporters, customs brokers and shipping companies, and customs officers. Ang mga import o export forms kay mga official nga dokumento nga kinahanglan o gidawat sa mga otoridad sa aduana. Kini gihanglan aron matuman ang mga sunod nga mga katuyuan o gipahayag ang mga butang nga mosulod o mugawa sa nasod. Kini gisulat o gipaybalo nga tinud ang tanang detalye bahin sa mga butang nga dadun gikan sa gawas o dadun padung sa gawas sa nasod. Patino ang kantidad sa buhis o bayranan ang aduana, pinaagin ini nga mga porma musupod o paibawan kung pila ang mga angay ipayad nga buhis o tungdan ang gobyerno base sa klase sa kidaghanan o bili sa mga butang. Masunod og mapatuman ang mga balaod ug lagda sa patigayon gigamit kini aron masiguro ang mga tanang negosyo o pagdala sa mga butang ang nahisubay sa mga balaod na gipatuman sa nasod bahin sa pamaligya o pagpadala. Maka baton og saktong talaan og statistika bahin sa patigayon o nagsilbi kini nga basihanan aron matipigan saktong record o numero bahin daghan nga mga butang nga ipasulod o ipagawa sa nasod matag tuig. So kini nga mga porma sa garang gigamit og ipuno sa masunod nga mga tao o grupo, mga nagpasulod o nagpagawa sa mga butang o importers o exporters, mga ahente o tighawig sa mga dokumento aduana, muna tao o custom brokers, mga kumpanya nga nagdala o nagpadala sa mga karibinto or shipping companies or shipping lines, mga opisyal o kawani sa aduana o kirabani nga magpasabot para nimo. The summary: import and export forms are essential tools in custom administration. Accountable forms involve revenue and must be strictly controlled. Non-accountable forms support administrative and operational process. Proper use and classification of forms ensure efficient, transparent, and lawful customs operations. Ang mga forma para sa musulod o paggawa sa mga butang kinahanglan ayo sa pagdagan o pagdumala sa adwana o customs. Ang mga accountable forms o mga porma nga may kalabutan sa kwarta o kita kinahanglan batayan o kontrolon o maayo o higpit. Ang mga non-accountable forms gigamit aron suportahan ang mga bulaton sa pagdumala o adlaw-adlaw nga operasyon. Ang saktong paggamit sa gustong pagklasipikar niini ng mga porma mo siguro nga hapsay na tinaw sabay sa wala o sa tanang bulaton sa customs.
Good day, everyone. Today I will discuss about the Customs Accountable Form. This is an important part of customs administration and revenue collection. These forms are official government documents used in custom processes involving imports, exports, duties, taxes, permits, and other transactions related to international trade. They are called accountable form because every form issued must be monitored, recorded, and properly accounted for. Since they have financial and legally value, customs authorities strictly allowed their use to avoid fraud, facilitation, smuggling, and revenue loss. Customs accountable forms are documents used to customs authorities to record and authorize transactions related to import and export goods. They serve as proof that customs procedures were properly followed and that the correct duties and taxes were paid. These forms are usually 1. It's pre-numbered for easily tracking and monitoring. 2. Issues only by authorized personnel. 3. Carefully recorded before, during, and after use. 4. Subject to inspections, reconciliation, and audit. These forms are officially government's record. They must have stored, secured, surely, and handled responsibly. Any missing, damage, or unauthorized form must immediately be reported and investigated. Next, we have the characteristics of accountable forms. Customs accountable forms have several important characteristics that make them essentials in customs administration. First one is the revenue related. These forms directly affect the assessment and collections of custom duties, taxes, and other government charges. They help ensure that the correct amount of revenue is collected from imported and exported goods. Second is the legally significant. Accountable form serves as legal documents and evidence in customs transactions. They have been used during investigations, audit, and or disputed to verify whether customs laws and regulations were followed properly. The third is the strictly controlled. Because of their importance, these forms are carefully monitored. Customs offices maintain inventories and record the track, the issuance, use, and disposal of each form. The fourth one is the auditable. These forms are subject to reconciliations and audit procedures. Auditors review them to ensure accuracy, prevent corruptions, and identity irregularities or fraud. Fifth one is the sensitive and confidential. Some customs forms contain variable commercial and financial information. Proper handling and confidently are therefore necessary. Next one is the examples of the customs accountable form. These are many types of accountable form used in customs operations. Some common example is 1. Import entry declaration form. These forms are used to declare imported goods entering our country. They contain details such as the value, quantity, classification, and origin of goods. Second is the export declaration forms. These declarations are required for goods being exported. They help customs monitor outbound shipments and ensure compliance with the export regulations. Third one is the customs official receipt. These receipts serve as proof that the duties, taxes, and other customs charges have been paid. Next is the warehouse entry and withdrawal form. These are the used when goods are stored in or removed from customs bonded warehouses. Next one is the temporary importation and exportation permits. These permits allow the goods to temporarily enter or leave the country under specific conditions. Next one is the bond and surety form. These documents guarantee compliance with the customs obligations and payment requirements. Each of these forms are the support proper customs procedures and help maintain accurate government records. Next one, we have the importance of customs accountable forms. Customs accountable forms play a major role in maintaining an efficient customs system. One is to protect of government revenue. This form helps ensures that the duties and taxes are properly assessed and collected, preventing revenue loss. Next one is the prevention of fraud and smuggling. Strictly monitoring of forms reduces of opportunities for illegal activities such as document falsifications, tax evasions, and smuggling. Next one, we have the transparency and accountability. By maintaining proper records, customs authorities can promote honestly and responsibility and transparency in their operation. Next one, we have the legal documents. Accountable forms provide official evidence during audits, investigations, and illegal proceedings. Next one, we have the efficient customs operations. Proper documentations help speed up customs processing and improves coordinations among customs officers, importers, exporters, and brokers. Customs accountable forms are essential documents in customs administration because they support revenue collections, legal compliance, transparency, and national security. Their strict control and proper use help prevent fraud, protections government income, and ensure that the customs procedures are carried out correctly and efficiently.
My topic for today is non-accountable forms. Non-accountable forms are documents used for administrative informational, or procedural purposes in customs operations. These forms do not directly affect revenue collection and therefore do not require strict accounting controls. Ang non-accountable forms kay mga dokumento nga ginagamit sa mga operasyon sa aduana. Ginagamit ni para sa pagdumala, paghatag information o pagsunod sa mga patakaran. Dili ni direkta makaapekto sa like kita sa gobyerno. Mao nga dili kinahanglan nga higpit kayo ang pagbantay o pag-ihap niini para sa mga forma nga may kalabutan sa kwarta. Next is characteristic of non-accountable forms. Is number 1, no direct financial impact on government revenue. Second, not pre-numbered or strictly inventoried. Third, used mainly for record keeping, monitoring, or reference. Fourth is loss does not usually result in financial liability. Ang kuan ni is katong number 1 is walay direktang epekto sa kita sa gobyerno. Wala ni gigamit sa pagkolekta og buhis o bayranan. Mao nga dili mausab ang kita sa estado tungod ani. So second explanation is wala na inaandang numero or strikto nga inventoryo. Dili kinahanglan nga matimaan matag numero o may hapang tarong ang gidaghanon kay dili man ni sama sa mga resibo nga kinahanglan natayan ang pag-ayo. Third is panguna gamit para sa talaan, pagsusi o referensya. Ang tumong lang ani kay adunay ebidensya o record sa mga tabo para masundan ang dagan sa trabaho. Sa kaupat is kung walay bayran or like sitagan ay way pananagutan Tagalog. Kung mawala o madaot yung mga forma, walay mawala nga kwarta o dili ka obligado, dili mo obligation nga mubayad or like wa kay mataplan nga na kay wala nila ba sa kan sa kwarta. Examples muna yung katulong ako. Examples of non-accountable forms. Common non-accountable forms include cargo manifest for reference purposes. Second, inspection reports. Third, delivery receipts. Fourth, gate pass. Fifth, internal customs memoranda. And sixth is request or routing slips. The last is importance of non-accountable forms is 1. Support efficient customs operation. 2. Improve coordination among customs unit. 3. provide documentation for tracking and verification, 4th, assist in internal control without revenue implication. The kaning importance is kanang like nakatabang ni nga mahapsay ang trabaho ug paspas ang trabaho sa mga aduana. Mas nindot og klaro panag-uban og komunikasyon sa lain-laing unit like kuan kanang sa imong colleague is like okay mo like wait palagdaot bitani uban mo gud nga kanang kuan like nay grupo nga na adunay saktong talaan na magamit para masundan ang pamatud-an ang mga nahitabo. Then last is nakatapas sa saktong kuan pag-operate sa trabaho bisan wala nilabo sa kuan like pag-collect sa mga kanang tax or kita ba na.
Good day, sir. I will discuss key differences between accountable and non-accountable form. In a custom and administrative operation, forms are used to document transactions, monitoring activity, and ensure proper control procedure. Their forms are classified into two categories: accountable forms and non-accountable forms. Understanding their difference is important because each type of serves as different purpose in maintaining efficiency, transparency, and compliance within an organization. Key differences between accountable and non-accountable forms. First one is revenue impact. Accountable forms have a direct effect on government revenue or financial transaction. They are used to process involving duties, taxes, fees, or collection. Because money is involved, this form requires strict monitoring and eliminating. Non-accountable forms, on the other hand, have title to no effect on revenue. They are mainly used for administrative purpose such as communication, request, or internal coordination. Example, accountable form, official receipt or custom declaration form. Non-accountable form, recruiting slip or request form. Second, level of control. Accountable forms are strictly controlled because they are sensitive documents. They are carefully issued, monitored, and stored to prevent fraud, abuse, or loss. And non-accountable forms have minimal control requirements since they not directly involve financial accountability. Third, pre-numbering system. Most accountable forms are pre-numbered. This numbering system helps track every form issue and ensure that no documents is lost, complicated, or news. Non-accountable forms are usually not pre-numbered because strict tracking is generally unnecessary. Fourth, audit requirements. Accountable forms are subject to mandatory auditing and regular inspection. Auditors examine these forms to verify accuracy, transparency, and proper handling of public funds. Non-accountable forms may only undergo limited review because they are mainly operational documents and do not significantly affect financial reporting. Fifth, risk if missed. Misuse of accountable form can result in serious financial loss, corporation, or illegal violation. Therefore, organizations ensure strong security measures for these documents. Non-accountable forms carry lower risks of misuse since they usually involve routine administrative functions rather than financial transactions.
To summarize our discussion on customs documentation as shown in the image, so import and export forms are the fundamental tools we use in customs administration. Accountable forms, these specifically involve revenue and require strict control and oversight. Non-accountable forms, these serve a different purpose by supporting our administrative and operational processes. Ultimately, proper classification of these forms ensures that all customs operations remain efficient, transparent, and legally compliant.